Well, thanks for staying with us here on the AM show. A lot has happened since the Electoral Commission chairperson, Madam Jean Mensah, declared the 2020 presidential results, which you all know went in favor of the NPP's candidate and president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. There's been a lot happening after that. During the newspaper review, we've mentioned how the Peace Council board members are narrating an attack at the NDC's headquarters. There are a lot of unhappy people because, like it or not, elections in Ghana since 1992 has been between two major political parties. One party is not happy. And yesterday we heard from former President John Dramani Mahama, the NDC's flag bearer, and their candidates going into the 2020 election say that they will not accept what they term a flawed election. We would want to talk on the back of that, the things that have happened, the police also confirming the violence in this election, saying that 5 persons have died, some 17 persons have been injured, and they're going on with their investigations. We will engage the West Africa Program Director for Conciliation Resources, Madam Janet Adama Mohammed. That's in a little bit. Stay with us. We'll take a little breather. We will come back with the conversation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ghanaians, my brothers and sisters. Allow me to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to you for your tremendous support, which you expressed overwhelmingly and convincingly at the polls. There's no doubt that Ghanaians from every region of this great nation of ours voted for change. And we did so in both the presidential and parliamentary elections. I'm a staunch believer in the experiment of democracy, the system of governance that allows the ultimate decision-making power to rest in the hands of you, the good people of Ghana. We, the people, who with an eye towards the future we would like for our dear country, elect representatives to go forward and realize that vision. Government serves at the choice, direction, and pleasure of the people of this great nation. And I have had the honor and privilege to serve my country in all levels of government. When in 2016, at the end of my first full term as president, I ran for re-election as an incumbent, I respected the will of the people. I conceded, I stepped aside, and I set in motion a peaceful transfer of power because I understood that it was the will of the people. And if we are to progress as a nation, if we are to live up to the inheritance of our history, one for which people have paid the ultimate price, the sacred verdict of the people must be respected. It must be protected. It has been my pledge throughout my time of service as a representative to the good people of Ghana to do exactly that. And that is why I stand before you tonight, unwilling to accept the fictionalized results of a flawed election. My brothers and sisters, it is important to remember that the government that is in power controls all of the state resources and oversees all of the state's institutions. The line he treads between his loyalty to the power that is held by the people and by his own desire to hold on to power can be a very thin one indeed. We went into the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections with assurances from the Electoral Commission and the relevant state actors that it will be conducted in an atmosphere free from fear and that it will be fair, transparent, and credible. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. What we witnessed across the country from Monday, 7th December 2020, exposed a deliberate plan to manipulate and predetermine the results of the election in favor of the incumbent candidate, Nana Akufo-Addo, who, as so happens, controls all of the state resources and oversees the state institutions. Despite all of the ruling party's inducements, use of monetary enticements, and other such schemes on a scale never before seen in the history of this country, the good people of this country understood what was at stake, and it was clear as the results of the votes that were legally cast that the National Democratic Congress won the presidential and parliamentary elections. No amount of trickery, sleight of hand, or obfuscation will erase that reality. I'm extremely proud of our...
So you had the former President John Dramani Mahama. Now let's have our conversation on the back of this. Madam Janet Adama Mohammed is the West Africa Program Director for Conciliation Resources. She joins us via Zoom for this conversation. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good morning, Mama V. It's good seeing you again.
Yes, absolutely. So what's your interpretation, or how would you describe where we are with this statement by the former president and candidate of the NDC in this election?
First of all, let me say that Ghana has the capacity to produce credible, free, and fair, violent-free elections. And I think that we should acknowledge that we have that capacity. We should be up and doing the right thing. Ghana has the capacity to also have state institutions that can perform to ensure that this happens. Technology has advanced, and we have made use of the advancement of technology to improve our systems to a point. It is only when we refuse to use our capacity appropriately that we find ourselves in situations that we are in today. There are currently a number of currently tensions all over, and we have to reflect and look at what is causing these tensions, what is actually leading to the tensions that we have now.
Okay. So the fact that the NDC's position is clear, now we know that they disagree with the results of the polls. The former president has indicated that they would use all legitimate means in resolving this. How should we move on? I mean, can we even move on from where we are?
Like I said, let's first of all look at what led to this. I look at the role of the EC as an important institution in delivering credible results. Now, as you said earlier on the program, the EC indicated that they would be able to deliver the results in 24 hours. Even in the West, this is quite challenging. And I wonder what led to that. Again, she used that to raise the expectations of the citizenry and also the political parties. Two, we have often used dialogue as a means of getting the results to be accepted. Ghana has always done this. Before results are declared, you have to go and talk to the people and ensure that they have accepted the results in a way before you even declare. I wonder what preparations were made. I hear the Peace Council went to the NDC headquarters. And like you said before, that was not the right approach. However, there should have been some eminent missions that would lead some dialogue processes and ensure that some of these tensions are not there. Again, when there are perceptions in any tension situation, in any conflict situation, you have to listen to them. Before the declaration, certain people were already raising questions. Whether these questions were authentic or not, they are cause for verification. And so these are areas that were also left out and not looked at. The incorrect figures presented by the EC, however little they are, created doubts in the minds of citizenry and also the political parties. And I'm sure both parties will agree to that, that it created some level of doubts. And so were the sources of some of the tensions that we have. We are hearing that there were no military presence in these elections. However, some videos show that there was military presence. Precedents with around the registration of the election, the registration period also indicate that there were military present. So it raised the expectations of citizens, and so different perceptions will be formed around the role of the military in the elections. And so you cannot just make a statement and say, no, the military was not used. You have to find ways of creating safe space to dialogue and ensure that people actually believe and trust in the systems and processes that you have put in place. But currently, people's minds have been abused, people's minds have been distorted, and so it raises a lot of contention in the elections.
Okay, before Ben comes into this matter, I guess you've set the tone. You've gone to some of the underlying issues, and we're clear in our minds the things that have happened and why we are here, perhaps. So I want to ask you the question again. Do we go to the court to resolve all these issues that we've raised? Because we've heard the famous statement, really, if you're dissatisfied with the result of an election like this one, you go to court. Do we wait for the court to settle all these matters that you raise?
Yeah, Mama V, I think you know me for a long time now, and you know that my option would have been to go through a dialogue process. But Ghana has missed that opportunity of using a dialogue process to achieve this. The NDC has come out officially now to say that they would not accept and they would use other means. And I guess, and I believe and trust that they are going to use legal means and not any other means. So yes, if our law courts are prepared, then the NDC should go through the law courts to resolve the issue. In the meantime, I will call on the Peace Council not to give up. I have a problem with the way that the Peace Council process went on, in the sense that the Peace Council governing board was inaugurated just a few weeks ago. My question is, how prepared are they to handle an issue like this? You know, it is important that an institution like this should be given some focus so that they can be able to take up the task when it happens. We all know that elections come with a very huge task on the Peace Council, and the Peace Council itself was not given adequate attention to enable them to prepare to take up a task like this. And so I will call on other civil society organizations that have the capacity to support the Peace Council at this stage, that there is still the need for them to go around and create safe spaces for dialogue that will reduce the tensions whilst the legal process is going on.
Now, Madam Adama, Benjamin here, I'd like to find out, you spoke about some dialogue, processes of dialogue that could have been brought to bear. And I'm just wondering, what else could have been done in this stead, apart from the legal processes and apart from engagement from the Peace Council? What dialogue processes specifically are you speaking of? Is it the two parties that should have found a way of jaw-jawing? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. We have the inter-party committees, and I know that the EC and the security agencies were working with the inter-party committees. But I wonder the level of preparation that the inter-party committees were prepared. We normally have the inter-party committee at the national level, at the regional level, and at the district level. Now, I wonder what work has gone into working with these committees at all levels to ensure that there would be some clear acceptance of results at all levels. I don't think that this process was laid out clearly, and I don't think that it created space for any formal dialogue. When the declaration of results were delayed, I was also expecting that was the time for some level of dialogue to be going on, even though there were representatives of both parties, of all parties at the EC. It was important for some group of people to be talking to the different parties and ensure that there will be acceptance of results at the end. But this dialogue process was not, I think that they didn't look at this dialogue process, and so we have reached where we are today. Right. And yet still, I would say that it is still important for Ghana to still go on a dialogue process. We are a people who believe in jaw-jawing. We believe that we can speak out our minds and we can understand each other. And so it is important that we put in a process that would enable this. I know us came around just before the elections, going around to talk to the political parties in different places with the National Peace Council. That was done. But that is often like a workshop. It is not like talking to the people. We have precedents where before elections were declared, you go to the political parties, go and talk to them and ensure that they would accept the results, and that if there are issues, they would raise them to be resolved. I don't think that was really done.
Right. Now, we have a new Peace Council chair, just because you brought that up, Dr. Ernest Edujemfi. And would it have been more apt to have someone who has been at this, dealt with the parties, election without number? I'm talking about the former Peace Council chair, Professor Emmanuel Asante. Looking at the bit about the inexperience of the new council, would it have been better for the former chair maybe to have been allowed to proceed with some sort of engagement with the two major political parties, the NPP and the NDC, at a time like this?
I'm wondering if that would have worked because of the issues that I have heard and observed about the previous board, the previous chair, whether he would be accepted by all parties. But there were other members of the National Peace Council who could have supported this process as well. So it is not just the board, the chairman of the National Peace Council. There are other people who could have. My issue is that when you inaugurate the Peace Council, you should give them some capacity building. You should give them some level of orientation and prepare them, introduce them to the political parties, because that is key. Introduce them to the how do you call them? The chiefs. Introduce them to various institutions and ensure that they are accepted as the prominent voice that can influence. But when you don't do that and you just do an inauguration, it doesn't work like that. In the past, we've seen how Cardinal Appiah-Texan, the then Cardinal Appiah-Texan, did work with prominence and his team, the late Mulvey Wahab Adam and the rest. They worked tirelessly to ensure that elections were understood, the processes were understood and accepted by various parties. Now what we are seeing is the Peace Council has become more, not strong enough. And that is my worry, because it is a very important institution and we should strengthen it. We should give it all the support to ensure that it functions well for all of us.
Well, maybe my final bit to you for this batch of questions. How do we make our elections? How do you feel we can make our elections more transparent and less susceptible to the challenge of, or even rejection of results like we're seeing this time around? It isn't the first time we've come to these crossroads. How do you feel we can get there?
I think we should put in enough capacity at the regional district levels, the coalition centers, and also put in a lot of dialogue processes at that level to ensure that figures that are accepted at that level are accepted by all. I'm an old person, and for that matter, I will always agree with the scoreboard that time back we used to all look up to the scoreboard to see figures in the district. And these figures were then collated at the regional level and the national level. And I think that we can still do that. We now have a digital process where we can do it even better, that figures are collated on a scoreboard that everyone has contributed to. I think the media houses also have failed us. And let me also say that JoyNews, Joy FM, or Joy as a media house, I was really not happy that you didn't do what you used to do. In the previous elections, you did so well, and I really respect your company. I respect you as an efficient media house. But this year, I think there were some gaps, and I hope that subsequently you'll be able to do that. You used to do so much for this country. If no one has told you that, I'm saying it today, that you used to do so much for this country. But this year, that gap, your scoreboard didn't come up, and I'm not excited about it. But having said that, yes.
I was just going to say that.
Having said that,
can you just hold on for a little bit? There's something that you said, and we'll come to the media as well so that you can expand on the point that you are making. You talk about the Peace Council not being strong. I was tempted to ask what shows a strong Peace Council, but even before you answer that, let me say good morning to the Executive Secretary of the Peace Council, Mr. George Amo, who's joined us via phone for a conversation. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Amo?
Yeah.
Okay, how are you?
Said,
yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
George Amo, I want to ask how you've been engaging the parties, at least the two major parties, right before the polls. What kind of engagements went on?
All right. Thank you once again, and greetings to all those who are listening to us. Before the elections on December 7th, you note that we had a peace pact that brought the key presidential candidates, i.e., the President Nana Akufo-Addo, the former President Mr. John Dramani Mahama, to sign on to the peace pact. We did that, and before then, we had quite a good conversation with the two parties. The board met with the National Democratic Congress in their head office, and also met with the New Patriotic Party in their head office. We had quite extensive consultations. Both parties put before us the issues that were of concern to them. As a peace institution, we use soft approaches in dealing with conflict matters or issues that are potential to create conflict dynamics. So when we did that, we engaged with the Electoral Commission. We met Madam Jane Mensah and her team, not only on one occasion. Prior to the election day on December 7th, we had met with them. We've had quite a number of conversations just to give what the concerns the parties are having, for them to do something about them, particularly when they are within our legal framework. So we did that.
So did you see to...
We prepared the ground enough. Before then, we've gone to over 120 constituencies we had determined or classified as hot areas to engage with the political parties at that level. So we did quite a lot of work.
Okay.
But the Peace Council, I think our work must be understood. I don't know the person who you are speaking to.
The person that we're engaging is a very experienced person when it comes to issues of reconciliation or conciliation and democracy generally. But I want to ask you, the NDC has indicated that they presented a petition to the Electoral Commission before the declaration. I wonder the role that the Peace Council played. First of all, were you aware of this petition, and what did you do about it?
Well, I am not aware that there was that petition. I think when we were engaging them, I think 3 days ago, at the office of the former president, I think some of these issues were tabled, and we decided to engage with the Electoral Commission. You see, so the petition, I have not seen it, so I don't want to comment on it.
Okay.
But yes,
so let me.
We have been engaging.
Okay. So let me take you back a little, because you said you had engaged the parties and you listened to their issues. What was your interest? Was it in resolving, so that my question is, were all the issues resolved before we went into the December 7 polls?
We used a lot of preventive diplomacy in times like this. Before the election, like I've told you, we met with the leadership of the National Democratic Congress. We met with the New Patriotic Party. We met with the CPP. For these three political parties, we met them. They gave us the issues that were of concern to them. As a peace institution, we are not peace People should understand we are not peacekeepers. We are peace builders. That is why we use soft approaches in working out issues that can lead to conflict. So when we did that, we had to engage with the two key players, i.e. the electoral management body and the security, who have very, very important roles to play in ensuring peace aside of the political parties. I think we did that quite well.
Okay.
Even after the election day, on December 8th, the NPC, our board, most of them are above 60 years, had to go to the office of the National Democratic Congress around 11 p.m.
Was it before the declaration or after?
Before the declaration.
Okay.
Yes.
Why did you choose to go to the NDC's headquarters for that meeting?
Why not? We needed to engage. We needed to speak to the political parties to understand their issues, particularly when you've heard news conferences here and there, which we thought had the potential to detract from the peace we are enjoying in this country.
Great. So to what extent did your meeting resolve the issues that came up, particularly with the NDC?
Yes. When we went to Mr. John Dramani Mahama's office, at the former president's office, while the meeting was going on, some young guys entered the room, the meeting room, and virtually held us in hostage. But let me commend the seniors who were there. The vice presidential candidate was there, the chairman. I think they helped us out of the place without anybody being harmed.
But you went there in peace for peace. Why did they attack you?
I will not use the word attack. I think that what happened was that some young guys entered into the meeting room and disrupted the meeting. You get it?
Mr. Amo,
so we could not efficiently conclude the meeting. You get it? We had gone there to engage with the leadership of the NDC to see how we can all help address the issues that were coming up. But that's what happened. And when things happen like this, it also creates not too good environment for peace building to take place.
Mr. Ambo, I'll sneak in this question. Benjamin here. Now, you say it doesn't create a sort of conducive environment for, peace building and all of that. But did you not see that coming? Did you not expect it? On the back of an election where supposedly the NDC was, losing out per some of the figures we had seen, didn't you feel the raw emotions, the declaration by the EC and all of that? It was not apt, as some people have said, that you go to the HQ of the NDC rather than engaging them on neutral ground. Did you not see that coming?
Thank you very much. I think I will not engage whether it was right or wrong, because if you have good intentions, you mean very well, why not? That place is not, if you've been invited, why not? You see, because we meant well. Let us see what we can also do to ensure we address the issues that are being raised. I think it was proactive method. You may not agree, but we think that it's a proactive method.
But my concern here is that as proactive as it was, it didn't work out. And it said, you are saying that you meant well. It's also said that the road to hell is paved with many good intentions. Obviously, your good intentions, amounted to nothing in this regard. So no fruit was born out of this action.
I would disagree with you, because you may not know what the effect would be.
Per you, Mr. Amo, I just want to find out, since you say there was some fruit born, what exactly would you say are the gains on the back of that meeting that we can, build on? What are the gains?
The very presence of the Peace Council there might have done something good. People were expecting the Peace Council to do something. The council, in their opinion, decided that why not? Let us approach. I agree. If some people are saying, no, you shouldn't have gone, probably that is a discussion we would take up later. We are all learning. But if you have been invited in the circumstances like this, it may have two scenarios. One, to assure the people that, yes, the Peace Council is there to help resolve matters that are coming up. It could have, the good intention may have had that in mind. Let us go and assure that we are there. You see, but probably didn't work that way. Others didn't understand it, and probably it has happened in a manner that is not helpful. But please, let us see how we can work out this matter together. I believe that we can. We've been there before. I heard Joy saying that we have been in this place before. When the Peace Pact was being signed by the two leading candidates, the Chief Justice, I remember on the 4th of December, informing them that in the event of disagreement, please let us all resort to the mechanisms we put in place to help us resolve disputes when they occur. I expect that we use the lay-down rules. We will be doing the soft part of the conflict resolution issues. We will continue to engage. What happened, we are very, very, very well-meaning people in all the political parties. We have worked with them for some time. And we believe that it will work out. But it is difficult in this time. And nobody should raise the tempest, please.
Right. Now
speaking... We have to help find solutions to the disagreements that are happening so that we build this country together.
Speaking about those difficulties, I just want to find out, because it's also been suggested that it's a little too soon after the constitution of a new Peace Council with a new Peace Council head and the inauguration and all of that, that it might have been a little too soon to start testing our National Peace Council with something as huge as an election and, the responsibilities that have been placed on your shoulders. How difficult was it? Was the Peace Council ready to mediate, to step in and do this, even putting aside the peace pact that was signed by the two, political parties? Were you ready for something like this so soon after your inauguration?
Yeah, I think that our board, as composed now, has 5 members who were part of the previous board. The chairman was with them.
So we can go back to you.
We have some new members who are not new in the peace field at all. You just review the profile of our members. They have been international peace actors. So they are not new. Some have been in ECOWAS to help mediate. I think that probably we could have, if we had inaugurated the board a bit earlier. Why not? It would have helped a lot. I would concede to that. But these are quite experienced people. I think their profile is on our website. And I'm not sure they have done anything that is not proper. You see, let me inform you this. On the 8th of December, around 1 p.m., this board had to engage with the Electoral Commission. The engagement, one of the fruits that came out from that engagement was the press conference that was organized around that time. And you can testify, I know the majority of Ghanaians will testify that when that press conference was organized, it brought the tension down, the mountain tension a bit down in the morning. So we haven't done help us to build. For capacity, we still need capacity. I mean, we will not, argue on that at all.
Okay, Mr. Amo, just hang in there. And let me also just mention that our resource person who's been helping us with this conversation also has more than 25 years of experience work on governance, peace, and security. And in fact, 10 years ago, she received the Martin Luther King Jr. Award for Peace and Social Justice. So she's a woman of knowledge in terms of these areas. Madam Janet Adama Mohammed, in wrapping up the conversation, as we have the Executive Director of the Peace Council also on the other side listening to you, I guess you appreciate better the kind of things that they've done and where we are today with their interventions. What more can they do, listening to him?
As I've said, it is the preparedness to do what they have done. And I'm not judging them to say that they did anything wrong or bad. What I'm saying is the timeliness of the board, and I'm glad that George, my brother, did concede to that. I'm also saying that some things need to be put in place now. We should not say that because of the attempt to speak to the NDC did meet some kind of challenges. So for that matter, they should stop. I think that they should go on. They should look at a composition of a team that they can use to speak to both parties. And speaking to the parties should not be done only at the national level. I think that they should speak at the regional, the district, the constituency levels. The Peace Council has the capacity to do this, to speak to them. What I'm saying is, at the national level, we have to have a strategy that is to enable peace to unfold. And they should not say that they are ever tired. Peace builders are never tired. We have to go on until we find a path to peace. It is important for us to identify that strategy now. Whether you are accepted or not accepted, you have to work your journey to the level of acceptance. Now you've gone, because of the heightened tensions, you've met this resistance. You need to find other diplomacies, other ways to get the NDC to listen to you, to get the MPP to listen to you, to get the other political parties, CPP, all of them, to listen to you so that you can create the safe space within which you can dialogue. It is very, very important for the Peace Council to do this.
Okay.
Whether they are new or not, at this particular moment, they need to work and they need to do this. And I agree that they are traumatized and they need the space to de-traumatize. And I appreciate that. However, if the immediate board has these challenges, there are other people who are of eminence and voices of reason in the country. They can use them and get people to listen to them.
So let me flip this around quickly. I'll come back to you.
Yes.
Ms. Amo, I hope that you're still with us and you heard that. But
it's refreshing coming from one of our key respected influencers, Madam Janet Adama. I think she's been with us. She knows about the history of the Peace Council. And I would invite her and other key persons, who we've been working with all this while, to offer us, to come close to us. I think we are ready.
Okay, great.
Are very much ready.
But I want to ask you this. I want to appreciate that, Mr. Amo. I just want to ask you, you couldn't quite complete what you went to the NDC for before the declaration. I wonder if that is still useful, especially now that they've taken the position that they will not accept the result of the election.
I can assure you the council will continue to engage. This evening we are having a meeting And
I hope you are not going to their headquarters.
No. Sorry, we are not.
Oh, I'm sorry for that.
We are having a meeting in a particular place in Accra, and I think that we work things out. We mean well.
Yeah, but what's the objective of this one? What's the objective of this evening's meeting?
Oh no, we are going to evaluate the elections and see what is it that we can do together with our partners to deepen consensus, even in this time of disagreement. I think it is very, very important. We cannot leave this issue hanging. We have to, like Madam has said, we have to work out all that we can. I mean, all the possibilities are on the table to ensure we keep this country as peaceful as we have met it. We cannot leave this country in chaos for our children. No. So we would do all that we can. We'll go all out. We have key influencers within all the political parties, I mean, from our side as well. Dr. Tambas was here. He's been with us all this while. I mean, we will do what we can to ensure we do what is in the best interest of Mother Ghana.
Mr. Amo, a very quick one. You say you're going to evaluate the elections. When you say that, apart from the political parties, what does that mean? Is there going to be any representation from the Electoral Commission, for example? Because whatever evaluation may need their expertise.
Mr.
Amo, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm asking, are you referring to the meeting this evening?
Yes.
Oh, we have somebody from the EC who is part of this meeting.
Who is coming?
Well, you want me to give out the name?
Well, I mean, we could know who is representing the side of the Electoral Commission.
Even the Electoral Commission is going to be represented. And we are going to have other key institutions. OneNet will be there, and NCC will be there. IDEC is expected to be there as well.
Right.
Well, Ms. Amo, we'll pick up the conversation from tomorrow. So all the best with this evening's engagements. But
thank you, and I would want to appeal to you. Let us be sensitive in this time that we are. Whatever word that you pronounce on your medium, please let us wait and see whether it has anything to help deepen the peace of this country. We have to do all that we can to keep this country together in these times.
Absolutely, sir. That's exactly what we've been doing. Thank you so much for your time. Auntie Jenna, just a final one. What do we do with the NDC supporters? We've seen them go to the Electoral Commission head office. We've seen them go to their own offices. We've seen them come out in Tamale. How should they be handled?
I hope that the NDC supporters will stay calm and listen to their leader. The leader says they would take legal means, so they should just wait on their leaders and work with their leaders to go through the legal process that they have decided to use. I think that it is not necessary to go violent and go the violent way, because that would not solve the problem. We have seen how war has been so destructive of countries, of their democracies. We know that during times of war, we weaken all our institutions, we give up our rights, and we lose our dear ones. So I will appeal to NDC supporters not to use violent means. They should go through the due process. The Constitution of Ghana is there for all of us. We have various processes that we can set up and follow, and we would get clarity to everything. So I encourage everyone on either side not to use violence. It's not just the NDC, but both sides should use the appropriate and due process to ensure that we get to the stage where we both agree that this is the way forward. It is about creating the future for all of us as a country, and violence does not create a future. It just depletes the future. So we should look out for that.
Okay. Well, Auntie Janet, a very big thank you for being a part of our show this morning, which has been absolutely useful. I guess in the coming days, we'll still come back to you. Thank you so much for your time this morning on the show.
Thanks, Mama V and Benjamin. It's been nice being with you. Bye.
Great. Okay, we have to move on, Ben.
Well, maybe just a few tidbits that, in fact, we're going to be sharing as well. Something that Samson Lade Anyenene on his show, The Law, together with Dr. Basit Aziz Bamba shared. We started talking about them in the course of the news review. So once the Electoral Commission publishes election results, any citizen of Ghana can raise an election petition within 21 days, challenging the validity of the president-elect. That's the first thing to know. Then the court may limit the number of days for hearing. Parties may be given 2 days each for cross-examination, after which the court adjourns 15 days to give its verdict. It is possible, through the exercise of case management powers of the court, to cut a lot of the delays. Now, note that the 21-day timeline to file a presidential petition is to enable the petitioner to adequately consider the matter before deciding to take the radical step of challenging an election of a president. If there is a change of mindset and judicial attitude, we should be able to hear an election petition within 42 days. Ghana has enough legal tools to expedite the trial of the presidential petition. So there are quite a number of things to take stock of, but the Supreme Court cannot amend as well the 21 days for a Ghanaian to raise the election petition. So these are some of the dynamics to consider when it comes to whether or not the NDC will proceed to court and what the dynamics are. And like I intimated earlier, a citizen can raise the election petition. Well, this is how far we've come as far as this discourse is concerned. More coming your way.
Yes, and there's more right now because there's a statement from the Christian Council that I thought we will share a little bit of it with you. You're asking that, you celebrate in moderation. Do not wear political party paraphernalia to church on Sunday. Today's Friday. On Sunday, people will go to church. So let me go to the paragraph that speaks specifically to the issue. The Christian Council of Ghana wished to state that for the sake of peace, unity, and national cohesion, Christians should not put on political party paraphernalia to church on Sunday. We encourage pastors to use the coming Sunday to thank God for peaceful elections and to preach unity among the Ghanaian people. Let us continue to pray for a united, prosperous country. So they acknowledge that there is some tension in the system. And so if your party won and you've been celebrating, please do it in moderation. And if you're going to church on Sunday, please, the elections are over. So leave the tools at home and go to church in whatever colors that you want.
You should tell that to the people in my neighborhood. Some of the celebrants have not allowed anybody in the neighborhood to sleep for quite a while. It's been interesting. Well, in the excitement, in the jubilation and everything. But moderation is key at
Absolutely.
a time like this.
All right, we've got plenty more conversations to come. We'll engage IDEC. They were there, and that's the Christian Council of Ghana statement showing there on your screen. We will engage IDEC. They were at the center of this peace pact that was signed, but there are other governance issues to also discuss. And then we'll have a conversation on Parliament's new entrants. There are some new faces, as some 111 members will not be going back. So more of what is to come in the 8th Parliament here on the show. Stay with us.